Alrighty, we give that another go. Now this time, what you guys need to do is stay on top of the vehicle where the game exists. Otherwise, the universe collapses. And you don't want the universe to collapse to you. Admittedly, it happens every day, so in this particular case, it's not the biggest deal ever, but you know, mild inconvenience.
Our redemptions are so defiant, they would not even let us spare their lives.
Are you serious? You're literally sieging their... You're storming into their home with a massive siege weapon and being like, why are they putting up a fight? We're just trying to spare them with explosions. You fucking lunatic. Also, yes, they are defiant. They're so defiant that they collapsed reality a moment ago and I had to de-canonify it in order to continue.
Turn into a witch hunt.
When you and your co-conspirators blindly tampered with the forces of the deep, risking this world and ushering in the apocalypse.
That's ridiculous.
Where is Cladden? Answer me quickly if you value your life.
You are insane. Take down the bridge now.
I am sorry, but I cannot let you do that.
Well, they almost made it, but not quite. Why don't we just run them over? Why are we stopping? Wait, is that is that flaming right now? Oh, wait. Oh. I think he destroyed the detonator with fire. I lost track of it a little bit. I was a little confused. Ow.
I'll go on her blind side. I'll collapse.
So am I only allowed to use Omensight on the people that I have like a connection with? Can I only use Omensight on people that I have a personal connection with via the four people?
My patience is at an end. Cladden, where is it?
I don't know. I swear.
Do you deny that you've been summoning the void? You and that priestess.
Wait. I've been hearing rumors. There is a splinter group within my organization, but I have nothing to do with it. Most of us, we just want to protect our freedom.
Take him away. Come, Harbinger. Sooner or later, someone will talk.
Wasn't he already talking? He seemed like he was just... He seemed kind of forthcoming all of a sudden. Is there any healing boxes I can break around here? Nope. Yeah, can I not use Omensight on random people? You'd think that being able to Omensight everyone would be really useful, because then maybe they would stop once they realize what's going on.
Please step aside.
But I only Omensight like 3 people?
I hope Draga fared better than we did. We will know soon enough.
But even that, no, it can't be that you have to have a bond with somebody already, because when I was with Radica, I didn't have Indrik's bond yet, and I used Omensight on Indrik in Radica's storyline at the beginning of the playthrough, when we didn't have Indrik yet, which would, I think that's how it worked, which would mean that you can use it on people that you don't have the connection with. Huh. You think that'd be kind of important?
Indrik.
Radica.
Well, this is awkward. So, ready to surrender?
We will settle the peace terms later. There are urgent matters to tend to.
Oh yeah, the whole world is about to end business. I have brought a token of goodwill.
You! Repeat what you told us!
We don't have the sword anymore, I swear.
Keep going!
We hid the body and the sword. Ludimir wasn't supposed to find her. Nobody was supposed to.
These traitors panicked. They searched for the sword everywhere, didn't you?
Yes, but we couldn't find it, I swear.
It means...
Only one may know where the sword is now.
Ludimir.
huh, yeah, we're definitely just finding out all the reasons why I was going to find out that Ludomir was a good idea to choose. But I just picked him already because I was like, hey, you guys were family. I bet you'd react to this new information. And then he's like, here's the end of the game. I'm like, what? Draga has committed an act of defiance in the past, allowing a prisoner to escape. Ludomir is the only one who knows the location of the Sword of Claydon. That's all we got. I'll probably do the other one too, even if it is kind of redundant, and this might seem like kind of time wasty to some. It is part of why I don't constantly scrape every perspective at every step, and often prioritize going forward with the story, is that what you get certainly has diminishing returns. Still, everyone goes to Radica. I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out if Radica just goes straight to the ending.
We are very close now. The sword will take you to Voden. Inside his prison, he can be defeated. Go find Ludomir. Make sure he leads you to the ladder.
I'm just curious how the day turns out if you go straight to Radica, because everyone keeps going to Radica, and then the day ends with Radica. Time next attack the moment the previous attack hits to greatly increase energy gained by each attack and increase damage. Oh, that was a mechanic in the previous game that kind of disincentivized you from spamming the attack button. But we're getting it now at the end of the game. Like, if I went straight for the ending, I would have probably beaten it by now without ever unlocking this. Weird to think about. If everyone's gonna go through all this effort just to tell Radica about the reveal, what if I just go straight to Radica? Does she go around and try to make peace with the other ones, or does she go straight for Ludomir? Or straight for the cultists or something? Curious about that. Damage resistance is good. Got more of that now. I don't know if any of these people are actually going to be in the ending, so I don't know if upgrading them is actually worth it or not. Get the combo upgrade. Next one's much more expensive. Sure, I'll pump up the distance. Why not? Whoa. Just slammed into her face. Hey, Radica.
I will pray for your success, Harbinger.
A mouse was encaged with velvet and gold. Her cheese was well aged, but truth to be
She survived? I thought I killed her. All this time, I didn't kill her? I didn't kill her? Sorry. Sorry. So, Vera. Vera wanted to find a way to end the war. When she became the godless priestess, Ludomir said she took on more burdens than anyone should. Or could. Vera thought she could control that thing. She was so sure it could defeat the Empire and bring the war to an end. And after it had done that, she said she would banish what she summoned, send it back to where it came from. When you open a door like that, you can't just close it again. She didn't listen to me. She wasn't in her right mind, and her eyes, it was like she didn't even see me anymore, and I knew I couldn't let her do it. Rachel, and here you are looking for answers. Sorry. I have no... Hold on. Do you hear that?
That new transfer to the torture room gives me the creeps. I swear the smirk he had, he's planning something.
Oh, hello. We were just leaving.
Sound the alarm!
That's it. Torture room. You may have your answers yet.
At this point, it's real weird to go back to the beginning of the game, basically, and hear super early dialogue unchanged. Because, yeah, as we keep looping, so no matter how much I learn, all these people are still looping.
Who had hold of the godless priestess. I recognized one of those slithery folks in that circle. He's here, in the prison.
Ooh. Oh, because she's going to recognize that one dude we saw as Ludimir.
Time. How do we stop that thing that you and Vera have summoned? Tell me or...
Or what? You start singing?
You see, my friend here never talks. Can you even imagine all the anger that must be bottling up inside?
Wait, I'll talk. Put that away. Not that it matters. You've already lost.
Why the bravery act then? Just tell us everything and then gloat as you watch us fail.
Well, it would give me a small amount of pleasure, yes. To stop the void, you would have to find Cladden. And even if you did that, an assassin has been sent for the only one who knows how to inscribe the seal on the blade.
Unfair. I've never had an assassin on my trail.
Sending a bear drunken ale and vengeance will be the end of the Emperor. And even if that should fail, we know the Emperor's next move. We will be there to stop it.
Oh my. So where is Indrik going next?
When I said we know, I meant my friends know. They don't tell me everything. Put that away, please! I spoke in haste. Indrik. He wouldn't know the sword is gone. We've engineered the whole damn thing.
You've said enough. We've gotten all we need from this prisoner. Thanks for the assist. Now, the vault.
Strange little glitch. I was like standing on a box or something. Like I had a I'm standing on a thing with one of my legs animation going on the whole cutscene that I don't think was supposed to be happening. Think the guy's a mole rat or something. So there is more follow-up dialogue with him besides just the one with the Ludimir.
Stabbed a good friend. Now I'm trying to save my worst enemy? Not even I could write a song to carry the highs and lows of the strangeness of today. Let's keep that between you and me.
Right, it's just today, huh? The Vera stabbing happened today, didn't it? Isn't that why? That's why I showed up, I think. No, I showed up because of the summoning that happens later today. It's just people contextualize it as being because of the ow. I thought I was out of range already. God damn, there's a lot of attacks coming. Gotcha. Special doors, please.
Oh no, Radika, you're so clever, you're dumb. Forgot to ask Baron von Charming in the torture chamber about Vera. I mean, if I'm not the one who killed her.
That was just a moment of me glancing away for a second to check on something, like the recording and stuff, because I'm like, well, I'm just walking down the street. This is fine. It's one of those let the game talk moments, and there's just a hole there because I felt like it. Ooh. Oh, it's all grown over. That's unfortunate looking. This is one of those chances, though. This is one of those moments I was talking about. Like, I haven't gone up here, right?
Can we raid the Imperial Bank next?
I mean, that's Vera's charm. Yay. Which one is it? Radika, Indrik, Forbidden? Conspiracy. Ah, there he is. Fybor. The venerable Pygarian is towering over Fybor. Severe looking, as always. He spoke to me again, Lochran says. For generations, Voden has been whispering to the chosen few, those who would understand. And for generations, they had been hiding in the shadows, placing their pieces on the board, pulling strings, one little step at a time. Lately, Voden's voice has grown closer, stronger, more urgent. The time for the great change has come. All their hard work would finally be rewarded. How fares our godless priestess? The patriarch asks. She will be ready soon. You can imagine her outrage when she learned about the number Indrik did on her brother. Even I felt sorry for the poor bastard. Tell your Rodentian friends to hurry. The last thing we want is for Indrik to remember the Firebird ritual. Strengthening Cladden would make the seal breaking near impossible, even for the priestess. Indrik is your problem, Lokrin. You are the one who molded him, remember? Or are you worried he would suddenly grow a conscience? A conscience? No, but he may take it upon himself to do his duty. The ritual would shorten his remaining lifetime. He wouldn't. He would? Fybor, we need to plan for the possibility. As long as he does not put his hand on the sword, he's harmless. I'll figure out something. Put me in contact with our people in the Imperial Guard. Lokrin nods. We meet again when the priestess commits. With a flap of his wings, the patrician departs. The priestess, Fybor muses. All this planning, and it hinges on the one mistake the priestess needs to make. So that's the issue, right? So they need to be able to break the seal on the sword, which means that they need Indrik to they need to stop Indrik, because Indrik's going to do the Firebird ritual. And if he does the Firebird ritual and then gets to the sword, then he becomes too powerful, and the seal becomes too powerful. Huh. That's why they try to stop him from doing the Firebird ritual by sending Ludamir, and then they kill him off in that one. Yeah, they kill him off in that one vault afterwards, if he does manage to make it past that part. That's their whole setup. Hey, bad guys, how you doing down there? So this all gets really messy if I teach, not Fybor, if I teach Indrik what's going on, then he quote-unquote grows a conscience, by which they mean, yeah, he just does his duty, because he doesn't seem to have a conscience. Or if I redirect Ludamir, then he also is just completely unthreatened, and definitely does the ritual, although then he's not, but then he doesn't seem to ever make it to the sword. They apparently had a good plan, because it was so foolproof that it requires some sort of supernatural deity to time loop and fail like 10 times and then finally beat them once.
Soldiers, you are my Imperial forces, hand-chosen, loyal to Bigaria. What is the meaning of this betrayal? Speak!
Bigaria, Rodentia, they will soon cease to exist. The future belongs to us. We are the chosen. We are the children of the void.
Oh no! Listen up! We've got company!
This is his murder. We've seen the aftermath of this before, where we find him dead, but we've never seen the actual death. So this is actually where it would happen, is these people ambush him as expected. So we're getting more answers. Ow. Ow. He went through the wall. Goodbye, enemy. Sure hope the game killed you.
He's meant to be threatening Ratica. I owe you nothing.
That's an understatement. We need to talk.
I will grant you an audience, Redemption.
No, I'll let you be my audience, Emperor. Come on, I know a safer place.
They're going to Fybor's. That's an interesting place to end the timeline. Okay.
All right. You granted me an audience, I granted you an audience. You heard my story, now it's your turn. What's the deal with the sword?
The Void was not killed by Yarbog centuries ago. It was imprisoned. This prison is a spiritual place, not of this world. The sword Cladden. Think of it as the physical anchor. A seal that locks Voden away from this world.
Well, that explains what Vera was doing with the sword. She was breaking someone out of prison. A lot of that going around. So, look, I'm guessing there isn't an easy way to send the Void back to its prison sword thing. But there is a way, right? And then lock the door?
Maybe. Yarbug instructed the first emperor to build a hidden chamber in his temple. A chamber that was not to be opened unless all else failed.
Hold up. You've had super secret clearance to a super secret room, and you never tried to sneak in?
I am a Pigarian. My word is my bond, and I respect...
Ay, Pagarians. So what's our move, oh humorless one?
The Harbinger will accompany me to the temple. You search for Cladden. I fear we have little time left.
And then everyone dies, because we're out of time. This is the kind of the storyline where whenever someone says, we have little time left, you just know it's going to immediately be punctuated by the purple explosion. There's a conspiracy to assassinate Indrik by the so-called Children of the Void, Voden's worshippers. Perfect timing to get the dialogue right before that explained that. I guess, yeah. That reinforces my idea that the forbidden texts are probably location specific, because they gave me the backstory with Fibor and everything right as I was walking up to the location where that murder is going to happen. Indrik possesses the key to Cladden Seal. Yep. There we go. At this point, I assume that all of the ones I don't have are ones I've missed. I think you need to, like, exhaustively check every single possible branch before doing the one that happens to make progress happen in each act. Otherwise, you're gonna miss some of the little pips on the lore board.
Harbinger, I understand the need to collect more information, but you must hurry and confront Voden inside his prison. You know that only Ludimir can lead you to the sword. Please, Harbinger. We are running out of time.
He's got to be here like, what do you think this is, some kind of goddamn video game? Because I'm just sitting here be like, I'm gonna be completionist about this. It's like, what? We're dying. Everyone's going to die. Stop that. Gonna upgrade whatever at this point. I don't know if I'll ever be able to upgrade again anyway. And who knows, maybe they show up for some big final fight at some point. So the entire timeline's completed. That part I think is mandatory. I don't think you can mess that up. But we still have some little missing pieces here. We have six missing pieces. The ones for Vera and the Void might fill in as I do the final chapter or whatever. I don't know how much may or may not be left, but some of these things are probably missed forever. That's fine though. Alright. Up next, finale? Let's get in there. What could go wrong? Just, you know, fabric of reality being ripped apart or something, maybe.
Another chance to save Urralia.
Let's get back in there. I wonder how close he takes us. Hate that wall. Die. Was it right here, or do we have to go for a while?
My vision's not what it used to be, unless I'm seeing double. But this is the same sword in your vision, yeah? It has to be. Huh? It's reacting to you. It didn't do that to me.
Oh shit, these guys.
I hate fish.
You called it a shortcut. Ow, ow, ow. You called it a shortcut, which just makes me question what's the normal way to get in
Someone
here.
doesn't want us messing with the sword, eh?
Was it-
So, what now, mate?
Was it back here? There's like a cave back here. Is that how you normally get in here? Otherwise, I'm like, what the hell's this a shortcut? He beat down a wall. Didn't he hide the sword here today? Right before he went to the tavern and then this whole day starts? How do you get a wall there? Wow, that's explicit. Point of no return. If you wish, you may speak to Ludomir to return to the Tree of Life instead. You will be able to return from there to this point. Do you wish to proceed? Yep. Way ahead of you.
What's going on, mate?
A well-timed delay of fate can change the tide of battle. Yeah, it's an absurdly strong effect to basically freeze everyone for a while. I think I needed that. Can I have that back, please? Whee! I was a little worried. Neat. I didn't double jump at first because I completely misjudged how far away it was going to be. I thought it was within a jump's range, but no, these platforms are huge. This is a site. Oh. I don't have a attack button. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. No thank you, bye-bye. No thank you, bye-bye. Oh wow, I can't even use my dash. I tried using my dash and it doesn't let me. Nothing works. Oh, this is weird. So you just need to run. All you can do is jump and roll. Hopefully it comes back when we fight the boss, if there is one. Otherwise we're in some trouble here.
I knew you would answer, Harbinger. We have little time left, but I have an idea. Voden is almost free, and you will need a weapon. It is but a shadow, but it will do. This, you can wield, Harbinger.
New memory obtained. Ooh. The first memory. The old woman is facing her god, alone. Nearby, a shallow stream is reflecting a soft light from an invisible moon. Is this the afterlife? Yarbog cocks his head, slightly amused. This is a workaround. I do not understand. I chose you. Loyalty is in your heart. You will keep my secret, and this place's secret. Me? How about your priests, or Eontrek? Eontrek has an empire to build, and the priests, they know nothing of true solitude. Yarbog locks eyes at the old woman, staring at her bare soul. What is the last thing you remember? I was praying by my husband's grave. All these years, do you tire of it? She stares back, resolute, as if saying, you know the answer. Yarbog nods and closes his eyes. He suddenly looks very fragile. Who would have thought that fusing part of your essence with the soul of a mortal could be so exhausting? The mortal. Is it that godless priestess everyone's talking about? Yarbug smiles, and the old woman is filled with sadness. You are dying. Don't cry. Remember what I said about this place. I will be watching. In time, my strength may even grow back. Now, goodbye. And just like that, Yarbug is gone. In his place stands a small white tree with several naked branches and a single silvery leaf. With a trembling hand, the woman touches the tree. Slowly, her fingers slide up and reach the leaf. Then she is seized by a vision. She is standing in this very place, facing Yarbug, listening to his final words. She pulls her hand back. The vision stops. I will guard this memory, and the ones to come. The woman cups her hands and collects water from the stream. She gently pours it at the base of the tree. She thinks of the life she has just left behind. The recluse old woman in the forest. The witch. They used to call her. The witch. I think I'll keep that name. That's way back to the beginning. We got all of Vera. We got all of Radica. We're missing one Ludamere, 2 Draga, and 1 Indrik, unfortunately. And I think they might be unobtainable now. I think you'd have to take a different route through the game. I have a weapon. Oh, it one-shots people. Does it one-shot you? Ow. It does not. But I can do that still. Oh, we're good to go. Oh. We're running up along walls. Pretty much exclusively. Dick, that wasn't a cutscene. Get out of here, your nonsense. What? It went the wrong way. The attack just went the wrong way. That was weird. That was a weird sight. Ow. Couldn't attack in time. There we go. Multi-kill. Running riots. Killing spree. Oh, I'm being oh, it's the meter's filling instead of emptying over time. I don't even have to be landing attacks, it's just filling all the time. Where's this enemy? Doesn't... Oh, damn it. I'm good at this. I didn't see my character stumble because I was looking at the part... I was looking at the part of the screen where the sign was to try to figure out where the enemy was. There you go. He's gonna attack me during the cutscene again. Damn it. Somehow, surprisingly, a jump attack doesn't hit him in time. Damn. How's he even hit? Has he? Alright. You wouldn't think he'd be able to reach me in that moment. It reminds me why I was always double jumping during the Ludamere fight. Just gotta remember that. Ow. My attacks are kind of slow now, actually. Yeah, there's like a I press the attack, and then there's a pause, then the attack eventually happens. So there's moments where the guy starts revving up an attack to hit me, and I expect that I'll be able to hit him back in time. I keep thinking I'll be able to intercept his attack, but my attack feels like it delays. Really, even that one. And he actually canceled my attack. Huh. I feel like my character was actually better at combat before this weapon. It's clearly really powerful because it one-shots things.
Harbinger, be warned.
But I need to be more...
I have watched Voden use fear and doubt as weapons, yet those are double-edged weapons. Do you see? Make Voden doubt. The part of Voden that has escaped will return to defend itself.
I just need to be more cautious because it's a big, strong one-shot kill weapon, but it's like cumbersome. That sounds like the voice actor that played Zelda. Playing Vera. The most briefly used character, probably. This is a cool color scheme. The sharpened, cut out borders everywhere. That looks familiar.
Be careful, Harbinger. This whole area is unstable.
Ow. Ow. I'll just use my one-shot ability. Yeah, it does not one-shot him, as it turns out. In fact, it's not even that strong. Ow. I was gonna throw it at him. Oh. Alright. The floor just disappears. Be careful. The floor is unstable. Then just literally the square I'm standing on instantly falls out. I'm like, oh, well, shit. Alright. Yarbog? More like Yarbog standard.
This whole area is unstable.
Ah! Alright, well that's annoying. Was there even really like much of a warning? That was like, it's just gone. It just disappears. You think you are the first, I will devour you, then I will devour you. The subtitle went away too fast, shit. Alright, I didn't even hit you that time, we're off to a good start.
Be careful, Harbinger. This whole area is unstable.
Hey, come back, I was fighting you. Oh, you guys, hi. Oh, he's shooting at me still. Oh, do the charge up. There we go. I was trying to do that. Hi, buddy. Can you get away from that ledge? They have a tendency to one-shot me with the gravity powers and whatnot. It's not a good fit for me. Where is he? There he is. Oh, he's up there again. Oh! Come on. Come on. I don't have control over the camera. Like, I can't even look around to be cautious about incoming hazards. The camera is not controlled by the player in this game. It's a fixed camera angle that swoops around wherever it feels like. It's like you can just get blindsided by something falling over and just instantly deleting that chunk of map.
Be careful, Harbinger.
Usually a designer would probably have like a thing where like the... Ow. They'd probably go with the system where like the floor... Oh, Jesus. They'd usually go with the system where like the floor vibrates a bit before it collapses and you have a little chance to try to get out of the way. Is he shooting me during the cutscene? He kind of is. Oh, he's back. Huh. Charge up that Y. Charge up the Y. There we go. Ah. This is a worrying mix of kind of unresponsive controls and instant death. How am I supposed to make my health last? He's hitting me when I'm in the air with a melee attack? What? Okay. I feel like I can't fully make out what's causing the damage to happen. You think you are the first, I'm gonna devour you and your world. I'm a blob man. Oh no, it's like you but dark.
Be careful, Harbinger.
You are not the same. We are much the same, you and I. What's... I was in the air during that attack, wasn't I? What? What is the hitbox of that attack? When do I hit him? Ooh. Yeah, doesn't work there. Nope, yeah, that one wasn't in range. Oh, there goes the floor. These guys don't get one shot. I guess that's because they're golden colored. Okay. Only one of them? Alright. That guy's not even fighting back. Ah! Ah! Fuck you! The pillar itself disappeared because the camera phased through it, and then it caused a chain reaction of platforms to disappear instantaneously with no real indication that they were going to do that. Oh, this is not going well. You put instant death pitfalls in the boss fight, but the... Ow. I thought I could roll through I thought rolling through that worked. Well, so what causes chain reactions to happen? Because it doesn't happen half the time, does it? The good news is he kind of melts damage-wise, so that's good. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Really? Oh, no, I had the energy for that. I had 3 pips. Why couldn't you come up with 3 targets to hit? Why did it only hit two targets? That's weird. Just keep hitting him. Don't let him get away. Impossible.
It's not yet over, Harbinger. Voden still has strength.
Goodbye. Okay, so it's not over yet. Yeah, apparently the good news is if you freeze time, you can just melt his health bar. Hi. Why don't you show me all of your power then? Why are you holding back, huh?
Careful.
Why can't... Oh, he's in the air.
Voden controls space and time.
How do I...
in this place.
Where... What? None of those attacks hit? Oh, he's just doing the same attacks as... It's just doing the same attacks as the other boss. This is your power? Is you just do the same shit? You disappoint me, Mr. Voden. If that is your real name. Ow. Rude. Okay. We're doing this now. Oh, platforms are going away. I didn't notice he was floating at first. Ah, there goes more platforms. The other guys kind of just seem like they're not worth fighting. Ooh, more platforms. I'm really concerned about how far back they'll send me if I die. What? Oh. Misjudged something about that. Hip, hip. Oh, no. Where am I? Please land on the platform. That was concerning. I couldn't tell what was going to happen. Rawr. I am Voden. Hey, what? What's hitting me? Wait, where was that beam coming from? Wasn't he leaving? Wait, there was like an off-screen projectile hitting me. What was that? Feed me. Feed me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Shockwave. Tube, 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 tube. There goes a lot of your health. Boing, 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 boing. Wait. You're supposed to take damage when I hit you, asshole. What's going on here? Are you done taking damage now? What's going on? Ooh, spooky. Those are really hard to see, by the way. Is he just immune to damage now? No, I went behind it.
My turn. I was appointed priestess for a reason. This reason. I have no regrets. None but one. Forgive me, Ludimir. You won't understand, and I'll never be able to rightfully explain. But it must be done.
The godless priestess sacrificed herself, and together, the Harbinger and Vera defeated Voden. Now, locked away again in the Void's eternal prison. At last, the soul of the godless priestess flowed back to the world. But victory came at a bitter price. Radika performed the Deathless ritual and became the Deathless herself, permanently. Born from this newfound power, the Deathless crushed the Pagarian invaders, forcing a truce with the Empire. The Deathless became an exacting ruler, much like Emperor Indrik, and the Deathless was worshipped and feared by all Rodentians. Drago was killed by the Deathless in an intense battle. Her soldiers instituted a memorial to never forget the general's bravery and fervor in bettering their nation and their well-being. Emperor Indrik was killed by Voden's worshippers while searching for Cladden. A new emperor took his place and ushered a period of peace in Pagaria, at least for a time. Ludimir drank away his grief until one terrible night when he fell to his death. Drunken accident, rumors said. As for Voden, Voden was returned to its eternal prison, yes. But I still fear for our world. Voden will do nothing else but wait for another opportunity to escape. I pray that you too, Harbinger, will wait and be ready to take arms against this force from the deep, and continue to be our final rampart against darkness.
Yeah, I think that was somewhat to be expected. We kept doing all this time travel and meeting all these characters so we could piece together who was doing this and how to stop the actual apocalypse from happening. But every single time we were undoing whatever we do, and it's tragic because there are moments and plot lines where we call off the war and nobody turns into a demon monster. I think we had timelines where I don't remember if he was no, I think in some of those timelines, I think in the one timeline where he was calling for peace with everybody, I think Indrik might have actually not been a Firebird either. So he wasn't cutting his life short to become Firebird, and Radika did not become Deathless, and things were going well. Unfortunately, that's not the timeline where we find the sword, which we needed. Yeah, we needed Ludimir to find the sword, and Ludimir, as we've said before, is just irrelevant to the actual. He's the character that you need to actually get the sword and beat the game, but he's so irrelevant to the actual conflict because all he does is go on a failed mission and die if you leave him unaccompanied. And so we go in the timeline where all we do is go with Ludimir to get the sword, and everybody else does exactly what they were already going to do, which is become Deathless, become Firebird, and then yeah, she gets killed by the Deathless, Draga gets killed by the Deathless, and Indrik, we saw where he gets murdered in the last one of those last timelines we did, where he goes off and meets the conspirators and is wiped out.
Would the mouse be?
I didn't hear that one part before. But at that point, yeah, everyone's wiped out. It's rough that even, I guess, well, Radika's technically not dead, but also I don't know if that's Radika at that point. And Ludomir, I guess, kills himself, or maybe is murdered. It's hard to tell from that. I think it's intentionally left ambiguous in that scene. It makes sense. It's easy to see it as unsatisfying, but ultimately, tragically, saving them was not our mission. We were this deity brought in to stop a cataclysm. And that's what we did. And then the outcomes of the war still went on unchanged. And it's brutal because they introduce how you could totally use your powers to change the outcome of the war, but our character fulfilled their duty instead of saving the world. And apparently that's all we had the option to do. This has been Omensight. Sequel, or spiritual successor to Stories, Path of Destinies. Mechanically, rather similar. That game had more of a sense of humor last time, because that one was, you'd play through like 5 levels per storyline, much like this one, and then you would just get a branching ending each time. You always started near the same spot, and then you just kept making a series of choices where you had 2 or 3 choices, and then the culmination of those branches would lead you to one of the many endings. The problem Stories had is that you had to replay every campaign from the beginning, which is rough, because that in particular meant playing like once you made, I think you had 4 choices in the first level, so you weren't literally playing the same level every time at the very beginning. But that was still just so much of replaying content when you wanted to check out all the different branches. So just the simple inclusion of a skipper in this game is nice. I still kind of wish that there would be like a proper flowchart. I'll inevitably have to compare this game to Zero Escape, because, of course. I would say that compared to Zero Escape as a franchise, this actually seems like a better example of how to do that kind of storyline. This idea that you're in this almost like visual novel setting where you're taking a series of different branches, and you use information from some of those timelines to solve problems in the other timelines. Like, that is exactly what the Zero Escape trilogy of games does, and this game does the same thing. And not even in a way. Stories also did that. In Stories, I think you learned 4 truths, and in this game you learned 3 truths, and that's what you use to change the outcomes of the different timelines. It would be kind of nice to have some proper flowchart control in both games for different reasons. One, in Stories, it'd be useful for being able to skip ahead. I would have been more likely to get every ending in that game if I didn't have to replay all of the stuff I'd done before. Because after you've played there's like 4 primary timelines that have tons of branches within them, and each of those 4 ones always start with you playing the same level first, and so on. And it's just kind of rough to just keep repeating the same content, because at first, when you first play it, you pick one of those 4 new branches, you're like, every single level is new. Or even if we play a similar location during the storyline as we did in another one, totally different stuff's happening in the story, and like things are going on, and maybe the scenery is a bit different, you take a different path through the world. But then you'd quickly hit diminishing returns where you're like, okay, I've played this level 3 times now, but there's like a 5th ending that eventually comes from this branch I haven't seen yet, but I have to play like these 3 levels the same way, then make a different decision at the 4th step of the process, and that was brutal, and it's why I didn't do absolutely everything. This game kind of had the opposite problem. They streamlined it so that when you get these major things, you just jump forward. You get the Omensights, and everyone just knows those things more or less from that point on in the game. And simultaneously, if you play a branch up to a certain point and you encounter a thing where you can change the outcome, and you leave it undone, or you take the alternate branch or whatever, then when you click on that thing again, you can skip straight to the part where you left off, where something can happen, without having to replay the entire series of levels for like half an hour just to get to the one part that you want to change. So that part's an upgrade, but as you noticed, as people pointed out plenty, is that like doing certain things makes you miss out on certain things, and due to how they handle Omensights, you can't take some of them back. Like, it becomes impossible to just reset back to default and like go play somebody's campaign where all you do is just talk to them and do like the beginning of the game style playthrough with a character. Once you have an Omensight, you're pretty much forced to use them in most of those situations. Like they give it to you as a button press, but you almost never actually have a choice not to use it. If it's during a boss fight scenario, your choice is to fight the dude or use Omensight. But if it's the beginning of a campaign, all you can do is walk up to them and press Omensight, and the game's just going to sit there and wait for you until you press it. A good example being Inric. Eontrek? No, Intrik's the other guy. Inric. I'm bad at this. Firebird. When you first start his campaign, he's on top of a wall. So like, if you have an Omensight to show him, you have to. And that's the only way to start the campaign when you play with him and stuff like that. And when you do an Omensight, you only do the most up-to-date Omensight, which perfectly fits the game's purpose if you in universe, which is that your character is trying to solve this mystery and save the world as fast as possible. So for that purpose, it makes sense. But as a player that might want to search up all the different nooks and crannies and find any secrets you might be missing, the lack of a proper flowchart or the lack of ability to undo using Omensights or go backwards to a previous act in any way means that if you missed anything, you're just going to miss it. Overall, I vastly prefer their approach to Omensight than to Story's Path of Destinies. Missing some stuff's kind of a bummer, but it's just the streamlining is just so much better. And yeah, it'd be nice to have an additional option on top of that, but having to play the campaign from the beginning every single time was just brutal at some point, even for a relatively short game like Stories, just because you're like, okay, I've done this mission. Both games have a bit of an issue, which is that their gameplay just isn't really good. Both games have pretty decent writing, charming, entertaining, colorful characters in a serious to sometimes silly storyline, and you go through and you want to see what happens, and you want to see what happens to your characters and everything. Like, you care about the story in both cases, I think. But the gameplay is very samey. It's very derivative of like the original Assassin's Creed or the Batman Arkham Asylum game, which are at this point, those games are like 12 years old now. Like, it's a really old gameplay model to be relying on. It's the same one that Hand of Fate uses. Just very reliable. Here's your attack button. Here's your dodge or counter button. Here's your range attack button, your roll, that kind of stuff. And you're just kind of whacking away at people with your one attack button and doing a dodge or counter or whatever the particular game has at the last second when certain people hit you. And then sometimes somebody is blocking or something, so you got to press the button that makes them stop blocking. Having played Hand of Fate 2 recently, it's virtually identical. It gets a little rough sometimes that just some attacks happen so fast, or the visual chaos is so colorful and bright that it's just like it's hard to actually parse the information and be able to counter these things on time sometimes. But really, the bigger issue is that the combat's just kind of sloppy. There are some instant death scenarios. There's some really awkward fights. None of the boss fights are particularly high quality. They're kind of just there, and it just does not appear to be the strong suit of the studio. I think that's probably the biggest divergence I see between Supergiant Games and this company, is that both games have the music and they have the really cool, like, painted art styles and nice visuals and this emphasis on storytelling and all this cool stuff going on, and they're sort of like budget duration, like 5 to 10 hour RPG experiences. But Supergiant like knocks it out of the park with their gameplay. I wasn't the biggest fan of Transistor, but some people really love the depth of that game. But Pyre and Bastion are just fantastic to play mechanically, in addition to the way that they interact with the story with their mechanics. But in contrast, I find that when I'm playing this game and stories, once you've been through the game a few times, you kind of just start to see combat as a barrier between you and the story. You're just trying to see the branches and see what happens next and complete the mystery, and doing what feels like the same fights over and over again just kind of feels like it's getting in your way. And so I found that until I was given reason to concentrate, like a boss fight or something, I kind of just was sloppily mashing my way through a lot of the fights because I was just like, these fights aren't that satisfying. The mechanics aren't that great. A lot of it's really rote. It's generic at best and clumsy at worst, and I often wanted to just get through it. It kind of felt like padding that gets between you and the content, because the story stuff, it's true for both this game and stories, Path of Destinies, is that the story branches that you're trying to find are the new content you're trying to experience, but largely the combat is stuff that you've already seen all of for a while now, and you're just kind of trying to keep going. To go back to the 999 Zeroscape comparison, I don't know if I completed that thought at all, but those games are a narrative mess. They try the same thing that this company tries to do with their storytelling, which is non-linear, multi-branch storytelling, where you use information from one branch to solve problems in another branch and stuff like that. But there's just so much garbage between you and the next story beat in those games, and this one, I think these games benefit, by which I mean stories and Omensight, benefit from being way more faster paced, because they're not just exhausting. It's actually really interesting because I think I played stories well before I played 999, so the context wasn't there and I wasn't thinking about it at the time. But now that I'm playing Omensight and Zeroscape at the same time, Virtue's Last Reward, the second game, because I've been recording that with Andrew. And it's amazing how, like, you discover a new element and you're like, oh shit, let's investigate that. And then you just go click on the thing to go along the path to go investigate that. And you're like, all right, we're going to hop in this timeline to investigate what this revelation means. And meanwhile, Zeroscape will be like, we're now going to spend 2 hours re-explaining mechanics you already know. And it's like, I'm constantly taken aback by how we can sit there and be going through the dialogue in that game, and it'll be like sometimes like 40 minutes between individual like plot beats happening, and I'm like, how can any game be this slowly paced in the narrative? And they don't even have the excuse of mechanical padding. Like this game has a bunch of fights you have to do in the between that kind of pad the game out and make it longer, but that game is mostly just pure story nonstop, and it's amazing just to contrast the two and how dense and how much this game is just like efficient and just gets shit done with its story, and how much the 999 and Zeroscape series is just kind of twiddling its thumbs for huge percentages of the playthrough, and then it's like, oh yeah, cool, here's a story beat. I don't know how so many people are so positive on those games. So anyway, this has been Omensight. Thanks for watching like always. If you want to check out the game for yourself, there's a link in the description. I look forward to seeing their next game. They've notably improved from their previous one, and I already liked their previous one. I just hope the gameplay gets a bit better, or even I wouldn't mind seeing them completely change genres, honestly. I like their style of storytelling, but if they pulled a Supergiant and were like, now it's a basketball game, and just completely switched genres the way, or gameplay styles the way that they do, that might be for the best, because I don't know if their current approach necessarily is the best one. Thanks for watching like always, guys, and I'll see you next time.